Okay, well, my name's Laura Louise-Winterbourne, and I am the owner of the Giftie Company.
So, thank you very much for joining us today, Laura. Can you give a brief outline of your career journey that led to you becoming the founder and company director of the Giftie Company?
Okay, so I used to own a cleaning company in Hertfordshire. I started that when I was 19. I actually started with £5 and some paper. I used my £5 to buy a mop, and I used my paper to make some very questionable quality leaflets. And that company, it just grew from that £5. It was insane. So I had it for about 10 or 11 years. And eventually we were operating from quite a busy office in Radlett. I had a team of staff, lots of clients, and it was everything to me. It was my entire life. And then on the side as a hobby, I used to draw, design, and just create little handmade bits and bobs. But it was never really anything serious. It was just something for me, something that I enjoyed doing. And of course I had my main business to focus on. So I hadn't considered that it was something I would ever do in the future. It was more of that would be nice, not thinking it would happen. The stuff I made, it wasn't very good, I have to be honest. I had no equipment when I started. I didn't really know what I was doing. I can remember making a calendar for my grandma, actually, for Christmas, and it was just a piece of card with a photo stuck on with Pritt stick, and some really odd printed mini calendar things that weren't even straight. It was awful. And she even says to me now, I hope your calendars are better. And they are, by the way. But it really was just a hobby. And eventually I thought, this is fun. I'm really enjoying this. And I used to see people, making mugs and personalised gifts, and I'd find it on eBay, and I used to buy them for my friends and family. So I decided to invest some of my money into buying some equipment, buying a mug press and a heat press. I learned to sublimate. I learned how to make stationery, how to bind books, just basically to create products that, at that point I thought, well, I could actually sell this. This is good enough now. It's not that awful calendar anymore. It's much better. And I could do this as a job, but I never pursued it because I had, my cleaning company, and I just didn't have that time. And then in 2021, I became quite sick, and I was really struggling to maintain, a busy company and a large team of staff, and it just got a little bit too much for me. I set some processes in place to look after the business while I was going through those things, but unfortunately they didn't really pan out as expected. It's a bit of a hard lesson to learn, I suppose. And what happened then was I lost the business. I couldn't keep going with it. It was very physical. It required a lot of time. I was working from 6 a.m. up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., no sleep. And when you're trying to deal with an illness, you need that time for yourself. So the best thing to do was to close it. But that had its own effect. It kind of had a bit of a knock-on effect, and I kind of went through a very difficult time, punished myself. You failed and you're no good. What have you done? And I just spent a few years indoors. That's what happened. Got diagnosed with agoraphobia. I didn't go out. It was really years before, I could really do much of anything. And to keep myself busy, I would design and I would draw and I would do all the things that I was doing previously as a hobby, and that gave me that little bit of sanity, where I'm still thinking, okay, well, I'm not sat at home watching TV feeling sorry for myself. I'm still doing something. It's making me happy. And one day I thought, well, why don't I do this to make other people happy? I've got the skills now. I've made a million things for myself. There's no one left in the family that wants any of my stuff. They are full of my stuff. And, you give them the box and they're like, oh no, another personalised mug, help. So I decided, well, that's it. I'm going to do this. I knew that I could build a business from scratch because, of course, I'd done that before. That business did become successful, and so I had that belief in myself that actually, although you feel this way now, things can change and things can get brighter, but you have to push yourself. And so I did. So the first thing I did was created the website. I actually used quite a lot of my designs that I already had from when I'd been making things for myself and for family, and popped all those on. I found some really amazing and talented suppliers that are doing the same thing that I'm doing, creating lovely handmade products and gifts and stationery, and I contacted them, and then I started to list their products on the website. About 3,000 coffees later, that was done, and then I could start to focus on marketplace selling, and I thought that was a really good place to start. So I signed up with eBay and eventually Etsy, and I just started to list my stuff, and that was it. I mean, it just kind of went from there. So it was very much a hobby that was a little bit of a pipe dream, it would be nice in the future, but when would I ever have the time, to going into probably one of the darkest places of my life, and that actually triggering it inside me and realizing that I can do this, I want to do this, and I will do this. And so I suppose that really I did. That's the best way to describe it. I think it's really, really good, for your kind of your soul, your mind, to have something to focus on. And I guess starting the Giftie Company has given me that confidence back that I really did need. So I just decided to follow a lifelong passion and creativity, and I've made a promise to myself that no matter what, I'll never give up, and here we are. I made it.
We've talked about how the kind of career journey led up to the creation of the Giftie Company. Can you discuss the actual history of the Giftie Company?
Yeah, sure. So we actually officially launched in 2022, right at the end as well. So we've just reached our first year. We've just gone over the first year now. So to give a bit of an outline of what we do, we're an online retailer predominantly. We do have pop-up shops and stalls here and there, but it's mostly, craft fairs and things like that. We sell our products on our website, on Etsy, on eBay, and a few other marketplaces, smaller ones. We create in our studio gifts, homeware, stationery, just things to make people smile. So everything we make has that in mind, whether it's something with a nice positive quote or a sweet little illustration that, if it's a notebook, they might open it up and go, oh, that made me smile today. That is the whole point of what we do, is to make people happy. Our catalogue, it started out in the hundreds. And that included, our suppliers' staff and our staff. We've now got over 2,500 products. We're still growing constantly. Around 1,000 of those now are from our in-house Giftie range, which has doubled. So since we submitted for the awards, so it's growing really, really fast, and it means that we've got a real unique set of products that we can offer to our customers that wouldn't be found anywhere else, bar coming from our studio. So I think that really sets us apart. Everything we make is handmade, so even down to the printing and the binding of our books, or the sublimation of our clocks, the actual designs themselves we make in-house. So it's all very special. I suppose it's a bit like a little superstore of gifting. If there is such a thing that a little superstore can exist, then that's us. And our main goal, as I say, is to keep a platform where people can shop for things that make others happy, that make themselves happy. We focus hugely on customer service. I do believe that gifting is, it's a really special and fun act. So when you're choosing and purchasing those gifts, that should be just as enjoyable. It shouldn't be stressful. You shouldn't be worrying. You shouldn't be waiting or not knowing what's going on. And I feel that providing that customer service, making it really, really personal, keeping in touch with people, sending that little thank you note in their package and sending an email to say thank you, checking in afterwards, all of that brings it together to just be the best experience possible for them, so that the next time that they want to buy something, they don't have to think, oh, I must buy so-and-so a gift, oh gosh, it's a bit last minute. They're not stressing. They know, oh, I'll just pop over and see what they've got and what's new, and is there anything that we can buy from them this time. So that's really our ultimate goal. The other thing that we do is we donate a lot. So we have lots of free giveaways. We give to local causes, to schools. We give items away on our social media. And that's all, again, based around spreading positivity. So to enter our competitions on social media, we often ask people to provide a positive quote or to say something nice to the person below them, anything we can think of that might brighten their day or someone else's day. And that's, that really is our ethos. It's all about advocating for mental health, whether you struggle with it or not. There's nothing wrong with having your day lifted by somebody else. So that's important. And yeah, I suppose, that's really what we do. We sell gifts, we sell stationery, and we love what we do, and we hope that other people love what we do as well.
And like you said, you've had this, you've almost doubled your product since you actually won our award and all this kind of stuff. And you've worked with other creators. Now you're on eBay, Etsy. In that time, have you faced challenges, and how have you kind of overcome them, would you say, for the Giftie Company?
Oh, blimey, challenges. Challenges is my middle name, I feel, at times. So, I mean, it could really be anything. That every day there's always a challenge, but then the way that I like to see it is that means there's a solution as well, because nothing can't be fixed. I hope I didn't make a double negative there. But I'd say that the most frustrating things are things like if a code breaks on the website, or I spot something I think, oh, I could do that differently. That could keep me up until 5 o'clock in the morning, or a faulty printer, because if the printer's gone, then we've got no books for the day, and things like that can be, they can test you, definitely, but as I say, there's always a solution. Certainly the design side can be a bit of a challenge. I mean, a good example is that I came up with a fox range. I thought, I'm going to do this really cute fox. It'd be lovely. And I worked on that fox for probably 5 days. Oh, wow. It ended up, basically, it looked like a cat. And so what I did, I said, right, okay, so this is just going to be a cat design now. And it does exist as a cat design on our catalogue, and it's quite popular. So anyone that ever buys our Cat Love design, just know that was supposed to be a fox, and you will laugh when you see it. And then what I did was just go back a couple of weeks later. I did draw the fox. It went really, really well. It's our autumn fox design, which is really popular. Yeah, and so ultimately, something that was a huge challenge actually came out of it as 2 separate designs, so win-win. And then I'd say, obviously, going back to mental health and how people can struggle day to day, running a business when dealing with things like that probably is the biggest challenge for me. So coping with not knowing how to move forward in your own mind. Certain days you might have a really, really bad day, and I might think, I can't do anything today, I just can't face it, and you just have to push through, you really, really do. But at the same time, I think you have to recognise your limitations, you have to accommodate that, because yourself, when going through something like this, that the next day is going to be better. If that day is a complete write-off, that's fine. Doesn't mean you need to give up. It just means you just need to reset. You need to come back to whatever it was you were trying to do, or perhaps you could even try and focus on something else that day. So, in my case where I couldn't get that cat right, walk away from it and just do something else. Work on some orders, work on some marketing. I think when you're doing the same thing consistently and you're struggling in your own mind as well, it can get very, very difficult. And I certainly would say, never give up. I think with that challenge as well, I mean, I will never fully recover. I'll always have agoraphobia. It will always be a part of my life, but it just is what it is. It is a part of me. So I suppose anyone that would hear this interview and is going through a difficult time with their mental or physical health, and has a dream that they wish they could pursue but think they can't, you really just have to take that leap. You are who you are. You can't change that, but you can still do anything you want to if you understand your own limitations, and just accept that things do go wrong. You will have challenges and problems, but you can always solve them.
What would you attribute as the main reason for that kind of success of, like you said now, like you've grown your business hugely, you're working with all these places, what would you attribute as the main reason for that success?
I think perseverance, number one. Just try and try again. They all say it, but it really is true. There's a reason it's so popular. Caffeine, definitely. I owe my life to caffeine for sure. And really, ultimately, our customers. I mean, without customers, you have no business. But what they can do for you and your business is incredible. If you sell an item to someone and you provide them this excellent experience, they're very likely to leave feedback. If they do leave that feedback based on a great experience and a great product in addition, it's very, very likely that the next person who visits will see that that's been written, and then they're going to trust you. So what each customer does is creates this knock-on effect for you, where they're bringing you more custom each time, and without that, you really have nothing, because your next customer may not have ever used you. They don't know who you are. They might not have even ever heard of your name. But if you've made the person before that very happy, then that next person is most likely to follow. So I would say, always value each and every customer as an individual. It's not, I've had 100 today, or I've had 2,000 today. You need to focus on each one and make sure they're happy. Make sure that every single person gets that same high quality that you can provide for them, because all of them are going to contribute to your own success. And without them, as I say, that there really is nothing. The other thing, obviously, you guys had a huge impact on our business. So since we won our award, actually, we have just grown and grown. I could not have anticipated what would have happened when I put those badges up. So we display them on our website, on an awards page, on the main page. And then we place them in the banners on our marketplace stores, and I actually put them into the individual listings as well. So if a customer finds a listing on Etsy, for example, they're not going to go through our store or our website, but when they're in that listing, they'll see a few pictures of the item itself, and then they'll see the badge. And before that, let's say we've got a notebook, we could have had 2 sales a week on that notebook, for example. As soon as I placed those badges up, those sales would be 4, 5, 6, and it would just grow and grow. The more that you sell of an item, the more that the algorithms go in your favor, and then they're advertised more. So that could only have happened by those people seeing that badge, those initial customers who said, oh, wow, I definitely trust this company. So yeah, I certainly attribute a lot of our success to you guys, and the amount that we have grown since we won these awards is absolutely incredible.
In your entry, you also mentioned that you have over 500 personalised products. That might have changed in this time from 2022, and that is exclusive to the Giftie Company. How do you continue to innovate and create so many unique personalised products?
So we're about 1,000 now, roughly. It could be more, maybe slightly less. I'm not too sure I keep track. I don't seem to be able to control myself, to be quite honest. I mean, for me, once I have an idea, I just need to jump in and go with it. It's really important, that you have a varied catalogue that can cater to all kinds of tastes, because one customer that visits you might absolutely love a floral pattern, another customer might like something that's a bit cutesy, and someone else might like something, a little bit boho. There's so many types of design. You can't possibly cater to everybody with one fixed style. And of course, many shops do that because that's their niche, and that's absolutely fantastic. I think that's brilliant. For me personally, I do like to try to keep a variation so that I can suggest different types of things. If somebody found a notebook with our flowers on it, they might say, I'm not really keen particularly on flowers, but is there anything else? And then I know, right, okay, well, you know, do you like dogs? Do you like cats that are foxes? So it could be anything. And I do think that's important. I think always having a fresh catalogue whilst keeping and maintaining the products that do really well, that's very, very important. It's really good from an SEO perspective to keep updating your website, and the best way you can do that is by either keeping a blog or adding new products, and that really does help you, you know, with Google and your ranking. When these search engine crawlers visit your website, they can see that you've got updated content. So it's same with marketplaces as well. The algorithms are in your favor if you're constantly adding new products. It can become a little bit tiring, but you can always just refresh what you have as well. I think from our perspective, I would like to stop at some point, because I think there is only so much that people can browse before it is a little bit too overwhelming. But at that point, we would then look at what is selling, what actually hasn't sold. And I think the longer that we're around, we'll be able to see, okay, well, we actually only sold, say, 4 of that item in a year. That's probably not a very good item in terms of performance, so let's swap that out, and then we could replace that with a new design so that you're not bloating your catalogue too much. Certainly as we grow larger, the design time that I do have becomes quite a lot rarer, so I'm often working, you know, in the nights and the evenings on something new just to keep things fresh. But eventually we would like to hire designers that can support us, and just keep our catalogue going.
What advice would you give to someone who is looking to start their own business?
Well, I mean, my obvious advice would be, if you have a dream in mind, you must go ahead with it. I can't say that enough. But, you know, I mean, no matter what, if you can find a reason not to do it, then you won't. I think that is very, very true. If you have a dream, or there's something that you'd really, really like to pursue, if you can tell yourself, oh yes, but I could do it, but I'm too busy. I could do it, but the kids, or I could do it, but I've got a full-time job. There's going to be a billion reasons why you shouldn't do it, but there's only one reason why you should, and it is quite simply, you just should do it. I mean, there's always time. So if you feel that you don't have much time to start on a project, just give it a couple of hours a week, because it's better than doing nothing at all. Certainly that's what I did at the beginning. I didn't want to overwhelm myself. I just thought, right, let's just start to create a little catalogue. Let's make some stuff with other people in mind rather than friends and family. And let's just see how that goes. Let's get that website to this point, so that I've got the basic frame ready. Let's not worry about all the other pages and the products just yet. Let's just do that home page. And setting these small goals for yourself, or small milestones, the more that you achieve, the more results you're going to see. You might look forward and think, oh, I've got 1,000 million things to do. I'll never get this done. I'll never achieve what I want to do. But if you look back at what you've done so far, you'll definitely surprise yourself. I think when it comes to doubting yourself about starting a business, you do need to remember that there is one person that lives with you your entire life from start to finish, and that is you in your head. There is nobody else that can tell you that you can't do something, because you're the one that's going to do it, not them. So always believe in yourself. I think to trust your instincts is really, really important, but you need to keep a solid plan. You need to write down your goals. Definitely work out a budget, because whenever you start a business, you know, there's always going to be an outlay. It might be that it was the £5 with the mop, like, you know, with my cleaning company, or it could be that you need to buy a particular machine to get started, and that could be in the thousands. You need to know what you can afford. If you can't afford it, you can always have a plan to save, so that once you can afford it, you can keep moving forwards with your plans. Nothing is impossible. You just have to make sure that you stay as sensible as you can, and know where you're going with your path. Because if you just dive straight in and you don't think about all these other little things like your budget and like where you're trying to get or what your overall goals are, I think that's where you can very, very easily get lost, and that's when it can get very, very overwhelming. I know, because I've done this so many times, and you learn each time. You think, okay, I need to just take a step back, work out where have I got to so far, try to just focus on one thing at once, because when you're starting a business as a solo worker, you are going to have things left, right and centre. You need to worry about marketing, you need to worry about your product or your service, you need to worry about finding your customers and retaining them once you have found them. You need to worry about your website and all of your leaflets or whatever it is that you're going to use to market your service. There's a lot to think about. You've got all of your admin, you have all of your bookkeeping, and being sensible and just focusing on one thing at a time, finding a solution, whether it's outsourcing or finding extra space in your own day to do those things. You have to make sure that you're aware that those things are going to come and you are going to need to do them, but also believing that you can. It's just, it can be a lot, and so not to worry about that. And I think just to enjoy it, I mean, there's probably very few people in business that will tell you that every day is absolutely amazing and fantastic and great fun, because it's not. You do have so many days where you're really, really stressed out. You have days where you do think, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Or, just one thing that could go wrong. It might feel like that's the complete end of the world. But as long as you know how to cope with that, and as long as you remember that no matter what, as I said before, tomorrow is another day and you can get through it, then there is just no reason that you can't succeed in the thing that you
do. There's a reason you're here today, is that in 2022 you won the Women in Business Art/Design Businesswoman of the Year, and you're a finalist for Best Newcomer Small Business and Micro Business of the Year. Why did you choose to enter our award specifically?
So actually, I was looking for award platforms that I could just have a look and see, what are the requirements and how does this work? Are you nominated? Do you apply? Do they contact you and say, oh, you seem, great. Would you like to apply? I had no idea. I just used to see badges on people's websites and think, I wish I could get one award. That would be amazing. And I came across you guys, and immediately I knew that it was perfect. I mean, first of all, you have no fees to enter, certainly not at the time. You pay a fee if you win, which obviously, you're running a business platform yourself, so that makes perfect sense. But it means there's no outlay. So what you're doing is you're welcoming micro businesses and small businesses who have very, very small budgets that can't really afford to pay an entry fee, especially considering they may not even be shortlisted, let alone chosen as a winner or a finalist. So immediately I knew, okay, you guys are the ones. And ironically, you were actually running the Small Business of the Year awards at the time, so I thought, oh, this is meant to be. So I made the application, and yeah, we were shortlisted, and I pretty much broke the roof going through it. I was so excited. And then we found out that we were finalists, for Best Newcomer Small Business and Micro Business of the Year. So that was incredible. And then the Women in Business Art Design Businesswoman of the Year, that is, I cannot tell you how life-changing that was. The self-belief that I had after winning that award was incredible. I mean, you always know that you're doing the best you can and that your goals in mind are the right ones for you. Making people happy for us is the main one. But to actually win an award, not just regarding running a business, but for art and design as well, which is what we're all about, it changed my life. I would say it significantly helped with my own belief. It significantly helped with our business growth. There's just no reason to have not done that. And I suppose, I entered the Giftie Company for those specific awards, as I felt we did deserve a chance to be considered. It's very, very nerve-wracking. I will say that. It is. It's very scary. You're watching the countdown before the decisions. You're thinking, oh, hurry up, hurry up. I just want to know, did I make it? Did I not make it? I kind of think it's probably a lot like being on X Factor or something when you have no idea what's coming. You just think, oh, please, 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 please. But when you receive those emails of congratulations, even if all you are is shortlisted, or even if all you get is an email saying, thank you so much for participating, it feels amazing because you were actually part of something, and somebody really did look at what you do and has given you that self-motivation to believe that what you're doing is worth it. And I think that goes for everybody that enters these awards. I think it's a huge confidence booster, and it's really, really important that you guys are here to help small businesses to believe in themselves.
Would you recommend Business Awards UK to other businesses?
Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely, 100%. So I haven't participated with any other award platform, so my opinion might be biased, but I'd say very accurate. I believe in my opinion. I mean, as I said before, you give businesses with small budgets the opportunity, to enter, to show their strengths. And the nice thing about you guys is that when you do enter, it's almost like you just become part of this family. So on your social media accounts, you're always really fun, you're really warm, you're really friendly, your email updates are lovely. I've had long conversations with you guys about, what we do and what you do. And I just always feel so welcome with you, and it's like talking to friends. You care so much about the businesses that participate, and that really does matter. I can't speak for other awards platforms because I haven't used them, but I would say this really does stand out for me with you guys. I think one thing that I would say is really, really important, because looking at the criteria for other award services, many of them will ask for financial statements as part of their application. And so if you are a business like myself, you're quite new, you have invested every penny you've ever had into it, and you still don't really pay yourself a wage from it, you're going to sit there and think, oh, so everything I do means nothing because I'm not turning over $1 million, I'm not turning over 10 million, I'm not even turning over £1.50 ultimately after the year's done. Why would I apply? What would be the point? But what you're doing by not asking for those financial statements is actually basing things on the merits of the company. You're looking at what they're doing, how well they're doing those things, and who they are. That is so much more personal than an award that is given to you based on what you've achieved financially. I think the way that you include everybody, whether they're shortlisted or winners or finalists or not even selected at all, they're still, always welcome on your platform. They can apply for anything that they want to apply for. You ask them all kinds of questions that are quite fun to answer, and your social media is really friendly. There's so much that you give these people that do apply for your awards, and I think I just can't tell you enough. It's just a fantastic service. The other good thing about you guys is that because we can see who else has been shortlisted and who else is involved, we can actually network with those people. And I've met a couple of other business owners. I sent out lots of congratulations emails because I thought, let's, why compete when you can collaborate? Let's do this. So I sent out lots of well done, nice to meet you. I hope it goes well. Good luck. And quite a few people responded, and they were really pleased to be shortlisted or selected. Oh, great, yeah, good luck to you too. And several of them actually I'm still in contact with now on social media. I actually chat to a couple of people on the phone, and we talk about our good days and our achievements, and we talk about our very, very bad days and our annoyances. And that's something that as a micro business owner, when you do work on your own, well, I have my dog, but when you work on your own, you don't really have that human interaction outside of speaking to customers. You don't have somebody that's in this with you. So from Business Awards UK, being able to network and find others who are in the same boat as you, are roughly about the same size and age as you, it's amazing. And yeah, I just can't thank you enough. It is life-changing.
Is the next big step for yourself and the Giftie Company?
Oh, well, so since we won the award, I was toying with an idea, and I thought, oh, be years before I can do this. And then I thought, no, do you know, I'm going to do it now. So I actually have you to thank for this one. So I opened a trade portal about 2 months ago. I say launched, it didn't launch. I just managed to get half of our products on there. And somehow we have had applications. We've got retailers that are actually working with us now. And it's been fantastic. I don't know what I did. I did something right, clearly, with my meta tags and descriptions, because people found us. And so now what we're doing is we're offering a drop shipping service for our products to other small businesses and even larger retailers if they want to. We sell to bricks and mortar stores, so they might bulk buy, say, a pack of notebooks or lots of mugs. And what we're now doing is essentially getting our products into other stores whilst partnering with other business owners, you know, and supporting their growth too, because by them selling our products, they're making their own customers happy. So it's a bit of a win-win. And that's something that I really would have loved to have done. And I just didn't think that it would have been possible for a long time, but actually, yeah, we're already on that path. So it's incredible, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that grows, and you know, how many different types of retailers we might end up working with. I think ultimately it would be amazing if we could get our products into the high street. That may be some time still, but whenever that happens, that's going to be very, very exciting. And I think for our short-term goal, I won't say too much, but I'd like to invest in a particular machine, and I have a very, very exciting product idea that I think our customers are going to really love. But it's probably going to be a little bit of time before we can do that. But it is something that I would like. I suppose I shouldn't say too much. I don't want to give away my secrets. But we definitely would like to dip into something that is very unique and perhaps not actually really been seen before.
Well, very exciting stuff, and I think, like you said, I think the growth is very well deserved from everything I've heard from you today, so well done, Laura, indeed. And again, thank you so much for joining us today in this interview.
Oh, it was a pleasure. It was really fun. Thank you.